afternoon and Merry Christmas. We do hope that you enjoyed the festivities yesterday. We have a bit of information about what people were up to and, of course, everything that's been happening in your country since. My name is Edith Kimani. These are the highlights. Kenyans mark Christmas celebration in style across the country. One for the road, Alcoblow catches up with drunk drivers in Mombasa. We'll also be telling you about some early morning drama in the Nairobi Central Business District after a street boy was killed. Now, Christmas celebrations for several motorists in Mombasa were cut short after traffic police officers nabbed them for drunk driving. Majority of those arrested tested positive on the Alcoblow, which was introduced in the town. Police have vowed to intensify the Alcoblow test in major roads in the coastal town to help reduce road carnage.
Drunk motorists in Mombasa, where hundreds of Kenyans have flocked to celebrate Christmas, were in for a tough night. Traffic officers were on a patrol to ensure no drunk drivers were on the roads, and many could not escape the law as officers introduced the Alcoblow on major streets in the town.
1.11. We use the breathalyzer to measure the alcohol content in someone's body, and the recommended one is 0.35 milligrams per liter. If it's above that, then you are not supposed to drive your car.
The whole idea is to ensure that our roads are safe. Drunk driving is one of the causes of road accidents, and we are here to ensure that we eliminate drunk driving.
Several drivers were arrested in the night patrol, cutting short their merrymaking. Many had to spend the night behind bars. Traffic police officers said the Alcoblow test will be effected in all major roads and towns in the coast as a way to curb frequent road carnage.
I'm sure something is being done to ensure that we have them all over the region, in Malindi, that is in Kilifi County, in Kwale County, in Taita Taveta, and as far as Tana River and Lamu counties.
And even as officers were enforcing the law, those who managed to escape the officers did not escape the effects of drunk driving. The streets of Mombasa were full of accident scenes on Christmas night and even today morning. Public vehicles, personal cars, and even motorbikes. For instance, this matatu that witnesses say was speeding collided with a personal car and rolled several times on the busy street. Several people sustained minor injuries. Those who witnessed the accident say this has been the trend in Mombasa all through this festive season.
Alipofika hapa yule matatu ametoka kule mbio. Sasa tumesikia tu hapa vitu fwa. Matatu ikaruru hapa.
Mimi ankuja hivi, mimi nimemgonga na katikati. Sasa sijui nilitokea na hapo.
Not far from here, another 14-seater PSV veered off the road and injured more people. Police say they will intensify patrols and alcohol protest on the roads as the festive season continues. Angel Katuse, KTN.
Well, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive is a message that everyone is repeating. Well, as Kenyans continued to celebrate Christmas in various parts of the country, including coast, as we've seen, Naivasha was not left out either, and the town witnessed the highest number of visitors yet who thronged it for Christmas celebrations. Security was beefed up in the lakeside town, which is home to dozens of hotels. Families had fun as they enjoyed entertainment, food, and activities such as swimming and horse riding. Managers of hotels hotels, many of which are fully booked, say that at least 90% of the visitors to the town are local tourists.
We are having a lot of fun where our kids are swimming. There's skating. There's quite a lot of activities around here, and we are really having fun.
Compared to last year, which was we were not fully booked, but this year we are fully booked. 90% are domestic tourism. 10% we have foreigners. Also, on issue of security, we have really improved our security from our gates and everywhere.
Away from Christmas, President Uhuru Kenyatta is in Juba to lead regional mediation talks. President Kenyatta, alongside Ethiopian Prime Minister, is meeting President Salva Kiir. The talks aimed at initiating dialogue between Kiir and his rival Riek Machar will commence soon. KTN's Asha Mulu reports.
A little bundle of joy born on Christmas Day, completely unaware of the turmoil that continues outside her hospital bed. She is among the 3 newest members of South Sudan, born into a week of fighting in the young nation. At the Level 2 clinic inside the United Nations compound, 31 babies have been delivered since the war erupted over a week ago. However, a possibility to the end of the civil unrest is looking up, but only with constructive dialogue from President Salva Kiir and his former deputy, Riek Machar. A regional power force has now stepped in, seeking a solution to the stalemate. As head of the East African community, President Uhuru Kenyatta is leading mediation talks in Juba with the host president, Salva Kiir. Ethiopian Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn is also in attendance. Riek Machar is said to be leading a group of rebels that took over 2 key states, Jonglei and Unity State, that host the country's biggest oil fields. President Kiir, however, disputes that, saying his government has recaptured these areas from Machar's forces.
طبعا في ضغوط علينا إنه ما نواصل العمليات الحربية.
Of course, there is pressure for us not to use force in the towns that are under rebel control. There is now very serious fighting inside Malakal, but our forces have managed to push back the attackers even in Bentiu, where Dr. Riek Machar said he was in control. That is not true. He did not capture all of Bentiu. There are some areas which are not under his control.
President Kiir has said he is ready for talks. So has his rival Machar. However, Machar has accused Kiir of being dictatorial, asking that he steps down before the talks can begin. As the crisis intensifies, most foreigners have been evacuated by their countries from South Sudan. The Kenya Airways today launched 4 flights to bring Kenyans back to safety from Juba. An estimated 1,600 Kenyans are stranded in 2 of the worst hit areas, Bor and Jonglei. But as everyone else runs away from South Sudan, these 3 newborns, just like other South Sudanese, have nowhere else to run to. Ashimwilu, KTN Live at 1.
Street urchins this morning rendered the Globe Cinema roundabout unusable after they started stoning motorists protesting the death of one of their own. Now, several motorists suffered losses after their car windows were broken by the street urchins and property looted. It took the intervention of the police to arrest the situation. Now, according to Nairobi OCPD Patrick Oduma, plainclothes police officers who were on patrol around the Globe Cinema this morning were ambushed by a group of street boys carrying a toy gun, which led to the shooting of one of the street boys. This angered the street children, who then took their rage to the streets, where they looted and threw stones towards oncoming vehicles. 3 street children have been arrested.
Just along Chomboya Road, these guys were demonstrating, the Chokora guys. So all of a sudden I just had a stone hit the window of the vehicle, and that's when I just went to the Central Police and reported. Okay. Yeah.
From Globe Cinema roundabout drama to Gikomba, where there was more drama at the Gikomba market, pitting a private developer and business people rather at the market. Now, the Gikomba business class threatened to lynch the developer over land rather, accusing him of land grabbing and illegal construction. The charged crowd accused the developer and provincial administration of conniving to disenfranchise them by displacing them from their business premises. The developer had proposed construction of a public toilet where the premises stood, and a man who claimed to be a chairman of a society group that owned the land was at pains to explain how they donated the land to government for putting up the toilet.
Leo tumeamka asubuhi tumepata kibao imewekwa hapa kwamba soko yetu tayari imenyakuliwa, imepatiwa private developer. So tunauliza serikali kama wanapatiana soko yetu hapa, watu wengi sana wanasaidika hapa ndani. Kama ni kitu halali, mbona wanakuja kuweka ubao? Sasa zile watu wameenda Christmas. Sasa zile the business community ya wako, na tunaambiwa hiyo sehemu saizi inatakana itengenezwe choo. Sasa tunashangaa kila choo zitakuwa zimetengenezwa all over Nairobi. Choo nimekuwa ndio biashara. Watu wanafanya hapa, wanapiga pasi, wengine wanauza hapa vyakula, wanaambiwa saizi hakuna tena mahali pa kufanya kazi.
Saa hii nimepeana nafasi ya kujenga choo.
Kama nani?
Kama chairman ya society.
Society gani? Wewe si chairman ndio huyo. Wewe ni mwizi. Wewe ni mwizi.
Sikia.
Wewe ni mwizi mkora.
Sikia.
Umezeeka na ujinga mzee.
Wewe sikia.
Wewe umezeeka na ujinga. Kama umeshindwa kuishi Nairobi, uende nyumbani.
Sikia. Mimi ninauza kama chairman
wa nini?
Well, from Gikomba back to Mombasa, where the Kenyan tourism industry has received a major boost with the docking of a cruise ship, MS Nautica, carrying over 600 tourists from Europe this morning. The tourists are scheduled to have a one-day tour in Tsavo National Park, Shimba Hills Nature Trail, and Bombolulu City, and city tours within Mombasa before embarking on their long sail to other destinations in Africa. This is despite the challenge of a travel advisory issued by a number of Western countries to its citizens against visiting some parts of the country. The arrival of the cruise ship and another one expected in February is of great significance to the tourism industry, considering the sector has experienced a dry spell of cruise ships docking at the port of Mombasa in the last 12 months. The Christmas celebrations have taken a decidedly philanthropic turn, with many handing donations to the less fortunate, with the Kasipul Kabondo MP, the youngest in the country, and Premier League side Muhoroni Youth Football Club donating foodstuff to the less fortunate. Fredo Mulo gives us the details.
The first-time MP, who had been conducting the exercise even before he joined Parliament, upgraded the annual philanthropic gesture to match his newfound influence.
As much as we can say that MPs are always agitating for more pay and all that, I think if the pay still be part of the community charity work like what we have done, then it's a good thing to do. So I'm just encouraging other members wherever they are.
The 27-year-old also enlisted his wife Violet to conduct a parallel exercise with women groups in the constituency, with her team donating new clothes gathered from well-wishers.
The same model that we are doing, they are also doing that one for a different people. Those who benefit from the foodstuffs doesn't benefit from the lesos. At least we want to make people also feel that we think about them as leaders, and also that what others feel they can also feel.
Mid-table Premier League team Muhoroni Youth also came back home to share the bounties of the game with a donation of Christmas goodies to all the widows in Muhoroni town.
As one way of giving back to the community or to appreciate what God has done for us, we have to support the widows. We have to organize the crusade such as this. We organized another one in June, but this was the second one. So we are appreciating what God has done for us, and we are giving back to the community by supporting the widows and the orphans.
Muhoroni Youth finished 10th in the league with 35 points, becoming the first team to enter the league, escape relegation and transition into mid-table level. Whatever the place and style, the Christmas spirit seems to have permeated all cultures and creeds, now manifesting itself in the most diverse forms of charity. From Kisumu County, I am Fred Omulo, and on behalf of Standard Group's Western Region Bureaus, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Fred Omulo. Thank you for that. Now, for years, conflict over scarce water resources plagued communities in parts of northeastern Kenya. Well, Garissa County now appears to have found the formula to deal with the conflict. It has all to do with the management of watering points for livestock. And as Rita Tinina reports, the new management system has made conflict over water a thing of the past in Garissa.
For years, competition over scarce water resources in parts of northeastern province led to conflict among pastoral communities. But in Shantabak, Garissa County, communities have now found the perfect formula to deal with the potentially divisive water issue. It has nothing to do with armed government forces keeping watch or millions of shillings in donor funding to provide water. A new set of rules on the management of and access to the available water has eradicated the conflict over the life-saving resource and proved that in fact there is enough water for everyone after all. At the Shantabak watering point, there is some order and civility. On any given day, donkeys are the first to quench their thirst.
Kwanza mara ya kwanza tunabatia ponda maji, ya pili ni mbuzi, ya tatu gombe.
At this hour, it is the turn for the goats, and even then, it is on a first-come, first-served basis. As some goats quench their thirst, other goats patiently wait their turn some meters away. In the horizon, another herd of goats makes its way to the watering point. The journey here is not an easy one. It sometimes takes days for livestock to get here. But once here, no one is rushed. The goats are allowed to drink to their fill. They leave the water point at their pleasure.
Wengine inatoka asubuhi huko, inalala katikati, asubuhi yake inakujanga hapa. Wengine inalala hapa. Asubuhi yake tena inaenda, inalala njiani. After siku tatu tena, ama siku nne, ama ninarudi.
The thirst is evident. When their turn comes up, they make a dash for the water point. Some goats, perhaps too excited, take a plunge into the water. Others break the local protocol. Some camels are impatient for their turn, while some donkeys are still taking their sweet time drinking water. Then there are the odd ones out. The watering point is managed by a committee. Livestock owners pay money for buying fuel and for the maintenance of the generator that pumps water from the borehole to the water point. We witness one of nature's marvels. This goat survived a 2-day walk. Its turn at the water point comes up, but there is a more pressing call of nature.
I'm not sure if that goat was delivering or not, but what an interesting story by Rita Tinina. That's where we wind up this Boxing Day edition of KTN Newsdesk, but not before we give you your Did You Know facts, both of them to do with food. On Samoa Air, did you know passengers pay by weight? So the more you weigh, the more you pay. Their tagline is, a kilo is a kilo. Does that make sense to you? Let me just repeat that. A kilo is a kilo. And speaking of food, did you know the hottest curry ever is found in England? It's actually in Lincolnshire, to be more specific. It's called a widower. Apparently it is so hot, it makes people hallucinate. There you go. Merry Christmas. Have a good afternoon. I'm Edith Kimani.